like a Hellcat.
Hey everyone, this is EmeraldAvengerG and welcome to yet another ranty video. In today's video, we're actually going to be discussing the long overdue to actually cover news of Overwatch 2 being cancelled. So a couple days ago at an investor meeting, they announced that Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4 will both be delayed. And no matter what they say about, how it's not confirmed as 2023, don't listen to the rumors, just how business works and how investors works and how financial years work. They wouldn't have made this announcement, considering the fact there isn't an announced release date, and the assumed release date was sometime in 2022. They wouldn't have made this announcement unless it was going to be pushed back to beyond the next financial year, which does in fact mean sometime in 2023. Now, I could be wrong. I could be entirely misinterpreting this, but just the way things are stacking up, the fact that they probably have about a year of reworking every single character and cast left to do because they shot themselves in the foot by deciding to change it to 5v5 instead of keeping it at 6v6 and making some other changes to counter that. I might go on to that in this video too. But so they shot themselves in the foot and so it's delayed. What should they do in the meantime? Because I personally do not think Overwatch 2 or Overwatch will. I don't think Overwatch 2 will ever reach the same heights of success that Overwatch did. I don't even think it will come close. I don't think it's going to be, say, 2016 was good. 2017 was the peak year. I apologize for that. There is a truck being really loud outside the window. I do not think that it will reach the same heights that it had in 2018. 2018 is about when it started its decline. I don't think it's ever going to go beyond that. I honestly think it'd be lucky if it got to that, just because they are choking out the game by not producing anything. I mean, the occasional... Of course, I do like the Hero Challenge event that they've been giving us. Where they give us we have to win 9 games, or now up to 27 games. We have to just get enough points to count for it for a skin. The occasional story bits are good. The deathmatch maps are okay. Most people don't play deathmatch unless they're in queue. And that's just it. I mean, deathmatch maps are cool content. They might have some cool story stuff that's hidden that won't actually be paid off until like 20 years down the line at this point. I mean, everyone's given up hope on the game even coming out at this point. I've seen so many Twitter threads of people being like, maybe we should just go ahead and give up on it. It's not coming out until 2030. Let's just give up on it. And it's not even like Blizzard polish that can be explained as the reason. Wish these trucks would... I don't know why people are like, oh yeah, this apartment, we're going to be loud as possible. We're going by it. Back to what I was saying. I don't think the Blizzard polish can be a good excuse. Because we haven't even been shown a lot. What we've been shown is just Overwatch with a different HUD and different balancing. The balancing of which they could have just put into the game, experimental cards, stuff like that. And my biggest thing is they could have done this so much better. They could have taken the Rainbow Six Siege route, where they continue producing content, maybe slow down a little bit, in order to release a PvE spin-off, which is exactly what Rainbow Six did with, what is it called? Not Outbreak. It's not Quarantine either. I don't remember what it's called, actually. I have it on my computer, so I don't remember what it's called. But they decided to, instead of just outright stopping content and creating a sequel, because I actually did see a lot of people right before it was announced saying that they wanted a sequel. It's like, no. We don't need a sequel. We can have a spin-off. We don't need a sequel. And well, they did that. They made a spin-off. Continued content. They did slow down the operator release to 1 operator per season, but that's still 4 operators a year. There's more than Overwatch ever got. Valorant has come out and released a handful of characters since... Actually, I think since Echo is added. Apex has continued to add character after character after character, with the most recent being Ashe, who is literally one of the best characters to ever hit Apex. Of course, Siege has continued to come out with characters. One of my friends, when I was having this conversation with him yesterday, actually mentioned how both League and Smite have come out with like a dozen characters. I'm pretty sure Paladin has come out with several characters. Blizzard has just abandoned us. Blizzard has actually just abandoned us. And it kind of sucks. And what they could do, and what they could have done from the first place, is find a way to port, maybe not even have the characters, but port over the PvE change, or the PvP changes, so the balance changes, the 5v5, started out in experimental, and then slowly trickle in all the reworks and stuff like that. Because we don't have to have Overwatch 2 to have the Sombra and Bastion rework. There's absolutely no reason we should have to wait for that. There's absolutely no reason we should have to wait for the McCree losing flashbang. There's absolutely no reason we should have to wait for any of these reworks. They're just doing it so they can have a massive content drop whenever Overwatch 2 comes out. But the thing is, they're probably not going to be as successful if they would do it now. If they do all of that now, if they drop all of the PvP stuff now, Overwatch 2 would, by extension, be more successful. It would make them more money because they would regain a lot of player base, a lot of people who have left and that won't come back because they are just so disinterested in Overwatch because it's stagnated. Because we haven't received the major content of any sort. We haven't received any. They actually, for a brief time, were doing some really good, consistent, relatively major balancing, but then they have stopped that recently. And it's just a mistake on their part. It is a massive mistake on their part.
No shield, no shield.
So what they should do, but they're not going to, is go ahead and just try to bring, even if it just stays experimental, and they have a permanent experimental card that is just that. I think that'd be infinitely better than what they're doing right now. What else they could do is, since we literally have seen Sojourn, we know she exists as a character. We have seen all of her, almost all, besides her, like, it looked like a spiraling grenade or something like that. We don't know what it was. We've seen every single one of her abilities except for one, whether or not it's in gameplay or in the highlight intros or whatever. We have seen all of it. So, unless they can give us a valid gameplay reason, a valid in-engine reason, but we can't have Sojourn, I don't believe that we can't be given Sojourn. And the thing is, I had someone bring up, but they can't do all this stuff because of the engine. The engine is the engine upgrade is for like visual effects, so like any flame effects are gonna look a little better. But the new engine, the upgraded engine, is almost purely for the upgraded AIs. That is almost purely what the engine is for, which is why I hate whenever people say, oh, but the engine is why we can't get it. No, it's not. They could just temporarily remove that stuff from the visual effects stuff from the engine and the hair shader stuff from the engine and just give us the multiplayer stuff. Because none of that, none of the actual mechanics, it's all the visuals. Nothing of the mechanics is actually held back by the current engine. But I doubt either of those two things could happen, getting Sojourn or getting the balance changes. So what could they do in the meantime? Well, what they could 100% do, but for some reason they've refused to do this whole time, is just to let us be in the know. I have seen several people, content creators, people on social media and all that, saying how they would be fine waiting however long it takes if they just knew what was going on. If we got consistent, not constant updates, but like them consistently telling us what's going on. Maybe a developer update every month explaining their progress on everything. Maybe actually show us the PvE stuff that we haven't actually seen anything in depth about since BlizzCon, the last BlizzCon line, whenever that was. Show us the new character redesigns. I don't understand why we're not getting anything. I don't understand why they're being so tight-lipped about it. I understood the tight-lippedness whenever it was first announced. We didn't really know anything about it. We know basically everything that we're supposed to know. But we're just not getting shown anything. We're told stuff, but we're not getting shown anything. We're told stuff is making good progress. We're not getting shown good progress. Based off of what we have seen, it looks like the game has barely been worked on. It literally looks like, I agree, I believe Stylosa said this. It looks like that this was, what we've seen so far has been thrown together by 5 devs in a room over a weekend. It doesn't look like a lot. I mean, Realistically, I've seen modders take, well, Team Fortress 2 or some of the Apex or stuff like that, and literally like entirely change characters overnight. So I don't understand why the reworks are taking so long. Blizzard is just notoriously slow for notorious for being slow at everything. Mojang comes in a close second, but they don't have the excuse of them being like an indie company because they're literally owned by Activision, one of the biggest and most profitable gaming companies in the world right now. I just don't understand it. I don't think there's any valid excuse for why it has taken so long, considering the fact that at the absolute latest they started working on it in 2018, but most likely it was sometime in 2017 that they actually started working on it. Because 2018 is when we start to see the content dropping off. But at the absolute latest, at the absolutely most in their favored date of late 2018, that is still 2019, 2020. It's still 3 years, approaching 4 years. 3 years very in their favor. 4 to 5 years very in, well, the reality. To create a glorified expansion. It is, by no means is it a sequel. By no means is it a sequel. It's as much of a sequel as Destiny 2 was a sequel to Destiny 1. Destiny, and honestly, if it was 100% in Bungie's way of doing it, they would have never made a Destiny 2 and just continued updating Destiny 1. That's what they've said that. I believe Blizzard made a mistake not doing the same thing. I really don't have anything else to say. I wish they would make changes, but I know they're not going to. We have this McCree special event coming up that has a very, very not cool looking skin. It's very basic. It is
My goodness.
yeah. I think they've just gotten lazy. That's all it is.
They are not pushing payroll.
And it might just be the shakeups from several people leaving the company. Jeff Kaplan. And honestly, I personally believe Jeff Kaplan left because it wasn't going the route that he wanted it to. I'm not sure what that difference was. It might have been Jeff Kaplan wanting it to hold it in development longer or push it out sooner. Either way, he left because he didn't agree. That's most likely what it was. It wasn't a graceful leave. That's why like his departure was announced by a glorified social media post, pretty much. Then of course the lawsuits going on, the stuff that led to McCree's name change, all that. The stuff that's surrounding it's been going on for years, so it's most likely slowed them down there. But the fact that we just haven't gotten the information is kind of sad. Because honestly, the game looks about the same state that it was in at BlizzCon last year, or earlier this year technically. So it has been legitimately a year, about half a year, just over half a year, and progress is minimal. Honestly, I don't know. I'm fearful for the future of the game. I really am fearful for the future of the game because I feel like it's going to fall off and we're just not going to have anything. We're going to have Overwatch 2 released and it's going to be fun for the first few weeks and everyone's going to fall off because they are going to take 6 months to release any DLC story, because I'm not even sure what they're going to be doing with them, because I know they have the hero missions that are going to be like the repeated, infinitely replayable content, but it's going to get repetitive. I don't care how infinitely repeatable you want to make it. That's what they tried to do with co-op commanders in StarCraft 2, and that's very repetitive. So they're going to have to be releasing more actual story missions. But knowing their track record, it's going to be like a year before we get any more story missions, most likely, after it launches. And who knows how the character release schedule is going to go. Knowing them, they might just hold off character releases and do them in big chunks once every 2 years.
How am I not?
Yeah, that's very pessimistic, but at this point, they're kind of forcing me to be pessimistic. I mean, I as a content creator was doing Overwatch almost exclusively for about 2 years, and it's just impossible to do that. I'm so glad Halo Infinite is coming out soon so I can hop back into being a Halo content creator. If I'm being honest, I might not come back for Overwatch 2. I might be here for the playthrough of the story. Outside of that, I don't know. I want to know what you guys think, though. Sorry if this was a little ranty. I just wanted to talk about this. I wanted to give my opinions, my thoughts.
Soldier behind you,
despite the fact that they mirror most of the rest of the community, I just wanted to give my thoughts. What do you guys think? Feel free to tell me your opinions in the comment section down below. As always, thank you all for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. This is EmeraldAvengerG. Have a nice day. Stay safe. Peace out.